Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Thank you for the kind introduction. So my little speech or presentation was my experiences with performing Waqfe Arzi. Just to start off, my earliest memories, as far as I remember, are in Nigeria. When I was a 4-year-old boy, at that time, my father, Qazi Dr. Munawwar Ahmad, was doing Waqfe Arzi under the Nusrat Jahan scheme. And he was in Nigeria in a small town from 1971 to 1974. And at that time, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Salis Rahmullah started the Nusrat Jahan scheme. In 1970, Hazur at that time visited West Africa, and he saw the plight of poor West African people and the dire state of their health and their education needs. So when he came back, he gave a very faith-inspiring speech to the Jamaat. And at that time, he said, I'm going to start this Nusrat Jahan scheme, and it will consist of a reserve fund, and the other wing of the Nusrat Jahan scheme will include a scheme in which volunteers from our Jamaat will go and will start schools and clinics and help Africa out. And he said that the final battle of establishing the truth of Islam versus Christianity is going to be fought on the soil of Africa. So this is how passionate Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Salis was about our service and volunteering for the people of Africa. So by the time my father, who had a very close association with Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Salis, when he wrote his letter of pledge, right at about that time, the 1971 war between India and Pakistan was breaking out. So my father, and this is narrated by my father, obviously I was very small to know about these things. So at that time, my father, around July or August of 1971, he had purchased the tickets and performed all the necessary arrangements for him to travel to Nigeria to start up a small clinic. So at that time, when the 1971 war was brewing in East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, a letter was sent by the Pakistan Army to every doctor in Pakistan saying that nobody can leave the country, that all the doctors are going to be drafted for service for the Pakistan military. And my father also got a letter, and at that time when he got the letter, he was very perturbed and very disheartened that all his dream of going to serve Africa was going to be squashed right away. So immediately he took at that time, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Salis was in Islamabad. So my father told us that he took the car and he went straight to where Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Salis was staying and told him that this is the letter he's gotten from the Pakistan Army. And my father said that I was going to tear that letter in front of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Salis, that I'm going to tear this letter and I'm just going to go to Nigeria. But herein the wisdom of our khulafa and the direction that they provide is really very, very inspiring for us and for me as well. So at that time, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Salis told my father that do not tear this letter. This is from government of Pakistan, and our tradition has always been to obey the law of the land. So if they have asked you to show up at the GHQ, you go. I will pray Allah Ta'ala will inshallah find some way that you'll be able to go to Nigeria. So my father told us that he appeared in the medical board in the headquarters, military headquarters, and amongst various blood tests and testing, a chest X-ray was performed. So my father was very healthy at that time. So when the colonel doctor put his chest X-ray up on the viewing chamber, there was some artifact that had showed up on the chest X-ray. And so the commandant asked the colonel, is the chest X-ray normal? And so he kept looking at the X-ray. He said, no, sir, it is not normal. So then he said, okay, dismissed. So that's how, my father got to go to Nigeria. And he narrated this story so many times to us that this is merely the prayers of our khulafa, which are accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that, things happen for us. And for 3 years, he was in Nigeria, and he continued to see the blessings of Allah ta'ala. And in 3 years, his clinic was so successful that he was able to generate enough money to buy a piece of land in Nigeria where a new clinic for the Ahmadiyya Muslim community was started. So my early childhood, memories are of that experience. So as I grew up, I also pursued the medical profession. My father was my inspiration. So by the grace of Allah Ta'ala, I've had opportunity to serve 3 tours at Tahir Heart Institute and 1 tour at Guatemala with Gift of Life scheme with Humanity First. So my first tour at Tahir Heart was in 2004 when Tahir Heart Institute was just being it was being built at that time. And just an interesting fact that, when you do Waqfe Arzi, there's so much blessing that Allah Ta'ala extends to you. My younger brother, who was born during Waqfe Arzi in Nigeria, it so turned out that he chose architecture as his profession. And fast forward to 2002 or 2003, by Allah Ta'ala's grace, he was given the task of being the architect for Tahir Heart Institute. And my father always told us that, this is just the blessing of Waqf that we do, is that you were born during that Waqf, and look how much Allah Ta'ala has now given you opportunity. So he was, the chief architect of Tahir Heart Institute, and I was there in Pakistan as well. So Captain Majid Saab at that time, gave me the task of, they had earmarked the staff that was going to go from Fazle Umar Hospital to Tahir Heart Institute to start work at Tahir Heart. He said, why don't you start a training program for these people and train them in cardiology and tell them about various procedures that are happening. So I spent some time in educating the staff about various procedures and how various therapeutic procedures are performed. So that was my first experience. And then I had 2 other experiences in which I was able to actually work in the cath lab. And the amount of work and the amount of stents that I did in one day, I just could not believe how much work needs to be done over there. So just wanted to, encourage all our young generation to try to perform Waqfe Arzi 3 days, 4 days, week, any amount of time that they can spare. The blessings that come with the Waqfe Arzi are tremendous, and you keep on reaping the benefits as you grow older. And by doing that, you also involve the next generation. We were sort of initiated in this Waqfe Arzi scheme by our parents, and I sure hope that we can pass this tradition on to the new generation. Jazakallah.